Well, hey everybody. Good late morning, early afternoon, whatever time it is for you, wherever you are. Sorry, my dog distracted me for a second. They do that a lot. Um, I hope you get a chance to get onto our website, sadhanashakti.com, and take a look at the videos that Stephanie did over the past few days or so in regards to power versus force. And I wanted to kind of add into what she's been talking about. There's a lot of talk about using power versus force in order to get what we want, in order to move ahead in life, in order to establish that sense of peace, that sense of inner peace and calmness. It plays into this as well. And so I want to talk a little bit about what the two are. What power is, what force is, how to differentiate between the two, how to know if you're using power or if you're using force. Um, and the easiest way to describe it, I think, is to think about a rocket ship that's heading up into the stratosphere. I believe India the other day launched a rocket in their attempt to land on the moon. Um, and I honestly believe that India is going to be the country that really propels the human space race, not in particular any one nation, not like the American space race or whatever, but I believe India is going to be the one that propels us into the interplanetary travel first. But back to the story. So you've got this rocket sitting on the launch pad, and there is a um, awful an awful lot of thrust that's required just to get it off the launch pad to begin with, and then to get it up into, break through the atmosphere and get into space. And that thrust, the amount of thrust that rocket is using, is force. It is the force of the engines pushing against the power of gravity. Now, when you think of the difference between these two, the rocket is trying to get somewhere, right? It's trying to get from Earth to space, and it is going against some resistance. There is some opposition. There is a power that is trying to keep it where it is. The power of gravity, right? And gravity isn't going anywhere. Gravity, it just is. Gravity is everywhere. Well, not everywhere, because and it's in different levels depending on a bunch of scientific stuff. Uh, there's less gravity on the moon than there is on Earth, and blah 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 blah, because of science. So when we're talking about using power versus force in our lives, we have to kind of step back and ask ourselves, is the action that I'm taking, is the direction that I'm going, am I trying to get somewhere, like the rocket ship is, or am I just am I just being in my power, and allowing things to change because of me, because of my power? Another way to describe this would be the concept of love versus desire. Desire is a force. Desire is you want something, right? It might not be yours, and you're going to go and you're going to get it. Or you hope you're going to get it. You're going to go after it. And again, that is moving in a direction. Now, you may meet some resistance in that. The object of your desire may not desire you back. They may have their own plans in terms of what they want for their life. Um, Whereas love just is. When you love someone, I mean, and this isn't, again, the Hollywood kind of love that we're talking about, or the sitcom kind of love where two people meet each other, they go share a hamburger, and then, you know, 3 hours later they're in bed. That's desire. That's passion. But that's not love. So the kind of love that we're talking about is the kind of love that where you would do anything for that person, right? So you release all of your resistance to whether or not that person's ever even in your life. You can love that person even though you never wind up in a relationship with them, right? There's a lot of people you have in your family that you may love, or have a sense of love for, but you're not really close to them. Like you would do if they called you up and said, "Hey, I need help." Yeah, you would help them, but there's no sense that they need to be there all the time, that you need them in your life. That's where the desire comes in. When you feel like you absolutely need to have somebody in order for you to be complete, you're not working off of love, you're working off of desire, you're working off of passion, you're working off of an insecurity. So you're forcing something to be where there currently is nothing. And love, on the other hand, just says, you know what, I'm okay with my emptiness. I'm okay with my brokenness. I'm okay with my, um, what? I'm okay with me. I'm okay with who I am. I don't need anybody else. I don't need a specific person. I don't need anything in order to feel complete. So there's no resistance. You're not up against anything. You just simply are who you are. And the person that you're meant to love back, or the person that you're meant to be with, will eventually be attracted to you. Okay? This is really the essence of the law of attraction, right? The law of attraction is where there's nothing that we need to do necessarily to obtain what it is that we want in life. We just have to simply allow it to become, allow it to enter into our field, into our power, and become attracted to us. Just like if a comet or a meteorite gets too close to Earth, it enters into the pull, the power of the gravity of Earth, and it enters into the atmosphere. It's attracted to it. Same thing with the law of attraction. That's what we're talking about. You Everything that you do, sitting down and writing affirmations, doing visualization, all that stuff is really just busy work. That's just the busy work to enable yourself to not go crazy while you're waiting for what it is that you're trying to attract. So when you're looking at this concept of power versus force, and you're looking at trying to change your life, you're looking at trying to become something different, or you're looking at trying to improve your life, or to move away from fear-based mentality, look at all of your actions, look at all of your beliefs, your core beliefs. Do they come from this perspective of power, where all you need to do is stand in your truth, right? All you need to do is stand in your truth, and everything that you want will be attracted to you? Or does it come from the concept of force, where you've got to go out, you've got to get, you've got to do, you've got to conquer, you've got to blah, 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 blah. You've got to get it before somebody else gets it? That's force, right? When we're talking about conflicts in the world, those are all about force. And we can never defeat force with force, because every time you have an action, when you have a force, you're up against an opposing reaction. You're up against something that's pushing back. Peace, pure peace, is power, right? Non resistance is power. So anytime that you are saying we need to fight for peace, you're confusing those terms. Peace doesn't need to be fought for, just like truth doesn't need to be fought for. Truth, there's a statement that says you release truth and it fights for itself. It does its own, it fights its own battles. And that's the same thing with peace. And there's hundreds of examples of people that have changed the mindset of other people in their lives, or have resolved conflicts just through complete and total non resistance. And that's a good point to understand when we are looking at what it is that we want to change in our lives, what it is that we want to change about ourselves, what it is that we want to develop in terms of our way of being, in terms of our morality. I talked yesterday about dharma, about our virtues or our morality. If there's anything about us that we don't like, if there's any kind of actions that we're taking, or any kind of uh, um, reactions that we have. Somebody does something, we're constantly getting angry. We don't like that we're doing that. If there's anything about our morality, our virtues, we don't like what we stand for, the only way to truly change that is to use our power to find out what is our dharma, what is our virtues, what do we stand for, what is our truth, and then reside in that, right? Don't force it upon other people. Don't push our agenda. Just reside in your truth. People are attracted to people of character. People are attracted to people of character. And the only way to be a person of character is to just be who you are. Be who you are. Don't try to change because this person likes someone that's more aggressive, and this person, your boss wants you to be this way, or your customer doesn't like you to be this way, so you change. And that's all force. That's trying to force your way into life. That's trying to win out somebody else's opinion over you. Um, just enable yourself to be who you are. And if you don't like who you are, then change that. If there's a part of you that's approaching the world more from the aspect of force, and you're feeling that resistance, you're feeling that sense that you're frustrated, you're not getting anywhere, you're stuck, it's because you're up against some form of resistance. You're using too much force. You're not using enough power. So we'll talk a little bit more about this. Just kind of wanted to add my 2 cents to what Stephanie's been talking about. And we will talk to you guys soon. All right, love you.